that I'd just have a really intimate chat with you today about a topic that I've personally dealt with, and so many of you have reached out to me saying that you are either dealing with it or you've dealt with it, you're dealing with it again, and that is post-travel depression. 11 years ago, I made a video about post-travel depression, and since then, I have received emails almost daily from you guys who have watched it and it resonated with you. It's something that you're currently going through, and you felt heard. You felt that finally someone understood what you were going through, and just receiving all these emails has really put into perspective how common this is to go through post-travel depression after a trip. How we feel is so similar to one another. How we have the same questions about what's next. How do we deal with this? So in this video, I wanted to talk more about post-travel depression, but also how so many of us have such similar feelings and such similar experiences dealing with post-travel depression, so that you watching, if you're going through it, you know you're not alone and how you're feeling is normal, that you are going to come out of it on the other side okay. You will have a better understanding of what you're going through right now and why you're going through it. And yeah, just hopefully by the end of this video, you're feeling a little bit of relief. I find that if I'm going through difficult times, if I'm able to talk to someone or hear from someone that is going through it or has gone through a similar experience as me, it just immediately gives me relief, going, oh my God, okay, I'm not alone. Just knowing you're not alone. So that's what this video is about. So over the last 11 years, and hundreds and hundreds of emails about people going through post-travel depression and just reaching out. And then I'm sure so many people who didn't email me, but just that watched the video, thousands of people. There have been so many similarities in these emails. And I think that says a lot. It makes you realize what you're feeling is normal. It's a response to coming back from a life-changing experience of opening your mind, opening your world to these new things, these new experiences, learning more about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, making new connections with people on just a deeper level. You come back from that, you're changed. And when you change, when you go through a life-changing experience, and I can relate this to becoming a mother, getting married. These are big life-changing experiences. So when you go on this, most of the time it's your first big epic trip, whether that's a short few weeks, but it's a destination that just gave you extreme culture shock, just really opened your eyes to a new way of living, new way of thinking, or it could have been an extended trip and you're away for so long, and then you come back and everything back home is it never changed, but you're so different from all these experiences you had while you were traveling. These are big experiences in your life. These are life-changing experiences in your life. And once you go through them, you're not the same person. So you can't expect to be the same as before, right? And I think that's where a lot of the confusion of why do I feel this way? Why am I sad? Why am I confused? It's because we expect to be the same person that we are when we left, and we're not. And getting to meet yourself again is kind of what we have to do to get through it. I went through a lot of the post-travel depression emails that I've received over the years, and I want to read to you a list I put together of the similarities I found in each email. So just repeated feelings, repeated situations people felt that they're in, and repeated questions as well of how do I deal with this? What next? So I want to go over that with you. Many people dealing with post-travel depression have said that suddenly when they get back from their trip, they no longer want to live in the place that they grew up in, place that they've spent their whole lives. They want to move away because that place that was so comfortable, so familiar, no longer felt like home to them anymore. And I can definitely relate to that. I mean, my first travel experience, like real travel experience, I spent 4 months in Paraguay when I was 18 years old. My first time away from my friends and family in this place where I wasn't surrounded by other foreigners. I'm really immersed in the culture and had to learn the language and just this whole other way of living. And it was a huge culture shock to me. It was a huge eye-opening experience to me. It's what opened my mind, my heart, my everything to wanting to continue to travel. I thought, wow, this is what I want to be doing. This is how I want to spend my life. I want to explore the world. I want to immerse myself in different cultures. I want to try new things. I want to go out of my comfort zone. And when I came back from that trip, you can imagine 4 months as an 18-year-old experiencing all these new things, like a new language, new way of living, making new friends, coming back to the place that I grew up in, and I was like, this just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like as comfortable anymore. Like everybody is the same. Nothing has changed. Why do I feel this way? It's because I changed. I changed so much. It like, travel just opens you up in a way that it just changes your world, and it can change your direction of how you want to live your life. And once that happens, there's no closing that door again. So, I mean, since then I've been traveling pretty nonstop. So I completely resonate with that feeling of wanting to like not stay in the place that you grew up and just wanting to move away and continue traveling or live in other places. I mean, I'm in Costa Rica right now in my house. So definitely can relate. Another one is not having friends to share your experiences with back home who are like truly interested and engaged in hearing about what you just experienced on your travels. That's a hard one, and it goes beyond friends. It's family too. When I came back from Paraguay and many other trips that I've been on, I shared my stories, and with the people that I thought would really like want to dig deeper, ask me more questions, really be engaged, I didn't feel that. And maybe I felt it at the beginning, like for the first little bit of our conversation, but then it was just like, okay, so what do you want to eat for dinner? And like, I'm not done sharing. I want to share so much more. I want like you to be more interested. Like I had these expectations that like people were going to be like, just tell me everything. I want to know everything, and like sit there with me for hours and be so interested as I was in sharing. And it just didn't happen. It happened with a couple of people, but those people also were travelers, so they understood. But that can be really hard because then you feel like, oh, I have so much I want to share, so much that I went through. I'm a new person, and I want to share that with somebody, and like I want to share it with the people that I love and care about the most. And when you don't get the response you expected, it can feel a little heartbroken, and like if I can't share with these people, who do I share this with? And I need to share because I'm going through something and I need to share my feelings. So that's also why I wanted to make this video, because I understand. And a lot of people here in this community also understand. So if you want to share something below in the comment section about your latest experience or anything about post-travel depression, what you're going through right now, feel free to share it. And let's all like help each other out. Let's comment on each other's comments and just know that you're not alone. And the best way to do that is just to interact with each other and communicate in the comment section. Another one is you had so much fun abroad and now you're back home, back into the same routine you were in before you left, that you were comfortable with, that you liked, you enjoyed it, but now you don't anymore. It seems boring, you're uninterested, and you're like, now what? This is especially true for people who are, maybe you were studying in university or college, and you go abroad, you come back, you're like, I don't want to study what I was studying anymore. Like, I tried something new when I was traveling, and I want to do that. I was scuba diving for weeks, and I love it. I want to do that for the rest of my life. I want to teach others how to scuba dive. Like, all of a sudden, you're your direction in life is going to be changed dramatically, right? From this experience that you had somewhere else in the world. And yeah, it's hard to deal with that. It's hard to like take that in and accept that, okay, my life that I was living before I left for traveling is no longer serving me. I need to make some changes. And that can be a lot. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to say, I don't want to do this job anymore. I want to do something else. Or I don't want to study this in university anymore. I want to do this instead. That's okay. But it can be a lot to like take in and accept. Another one is feeling like out of place back home after you come back from your trip. Somehow feeling like left out in a way, weirdly disconnected and isolated and nervous and feeling randomly sad. And that is all part of post-travel depression. Because again, you just were out experiencing something completely new and discovering a new version of yourself. You like start opening up these like channels within yourself and learning more about what you like, what you don't like, what moves you, what gives you passion, what drives you, what inspires you. And yeah, you come back to the life you've always known. You're going to feel all these things. It's a result of that. And it's important to just feel the feelings you're feeling. Understand why you're feeling that way, like how I just explained. And it just takes time. You need to just go through it. You can write about it. You can talk to people who are going through it as well or have gone through it before, just to like help you move through the feelings. It's important to not suppress those feelings, to accept those feelings, to go through those feelings. And over time, you start to feel better because you have a better understanding of like, hey, like I feel this way because I just had this epic experience and went through all these things, right? There's a reason for it. And I find that when I accept how I'm feeling because there's a reason for it, then I can, kind of just like be like, okay, and accept it and just like go through it. Another commonality that people with post-travel depression have mentioned is not being able to connect with their friends back home the same way that they could before. And that they feel more connected to the people that they were traveling with. And it could be people they were traveling with for like a week, but they're just like, have a deeper connection with those people. 100%. My best friends, the majority of my best friends are the ones that I made during my travels. During like an epic, life-changing experience that we had together, where we became best friends in 3 days because we just had this deep, rich experience that just bonded us so quickly and for life. So that's completely normal to feel like a little less connected to your friends back home and more connected to the friends that you made when you're traveling, even though you've known your friends back home for your life and these other friends for like weeks. That's okay. And it's so beautiful because those relationships you make when you travel, you can have them for life. Now, some of the most common questions I've gotten in these emails are, how long did it take for you to feel a little bit better? The first time, back when I was 18, my first travel experience, it took a while. Definitely, like, I was never the same again. I mean, I didn't go back to, like, who I was before I left for that trip, ever. And I'm glad because it's shaped the person I am. It's given me this epic life, my career. Like, none of this would be if I didn't go on that trip. So it never kind of went back to how it was. But the feeling, like the feeling of confusion and sadness and what next kind of thing, I think over, months until I basically was like, oh, I'm going to plan my next trip. That got me really excited to, go out and explore again. And I realized like, hey, I can save up for travels and keep doing this. And instead of putting money towards other things that I was spending money on, I can put it towards travel and I can just keep this going. So I knew that I had another trip planned and that kept me excited. And I started connecting with other travelers back home. And that really helped, connecting with people who have common interests, and having the next trip planned, because there was no way that I was going to ever stop. Even though that was my first travel experience, my first experience with post-travel depression, I was hit harder after I came back from a 10-month trip back in 2010. And I had gone to so many different countries, but I think my time in India really is what made the post-travel depression, I think, even more like strong. Because what I experienced in India opened me up in other ways that I had never been opened up. On a spiritual level, I was like on this journey that I never even expected. And it really opened up my eyes, and just like really made a huge impact on me. It made such a huge impact on me. So when I came back from that trip, and I was gone for 10 months, which was a long time. When I came back from that trip, it took me a long time to feel, okay, I'm cool. I went through all these feelings. I understand why I felt that way. I am now a different person than I was before. And, let's continue on. It took months. But again, what really helped was connecting with other travelers. That's when I started Hopscotch the Globe. So I was able to like write out my feelings and my experiences and share it with other travelers all around the world, you guys, and you'd write me back, excited and wanting to know more. And that really helped me. It helped me to connect with other travelers. And I'm not saying you have to go and start a blog or a YouTube channel, but there are ways of doing that. There is a website called Meetup and meetup.com, and you can go and find people who are interested in the same things you are. And there's different meetups in all different places around the world. So you can go find travelers there and go to travel meetups. There's also something called Travel Massive, which I've been part of for years. It's in different cities around the world. Again, different travel events or meetups that happen in different cities. So you can go check out those two to connect with other travelers, because that really, really helps. Were you scared at any point that you wouldn't feel like yourself again? Yeah. I mean, I think when you are becoming a newer version of yourself, it is scary. When I became a mom, when I became a wife, like when I realized I was in my 30s, all these like life-changing moments, it can feel a little scary, because I didn't necessarily want to leave the person that I was, but at the same time, it's like, I can't be that person anymore. I'm not that same person anymore. I'm a newer, better version of myself because I went through these experiences. But it can it is sad. It's like mourning. It's like almost like having like a death and a rebirth at the same time. And that's completely normal. And you're going to feel that probably at many different times in your life. So again, it's okay. It's okay. You got to feel those feelings, get through them. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry or confused. It's all part of the process. Just go through it. A lot of people also ask if there are any tips that I had to help reduce the feeling of post-travel depression. And again, through talking and meeting up with other travelers, becoming friends with other travelers, reaching out to the people that you befriended during your trip, staying in contact with them, start saving up for your next trip. Because you know what? We're naturally wanderers. We have been forever. We are explorers, we are wanderers, we are travelers. And when you connect with that part of yourself that you didn't know was there because you lived in the same place for your whole life, but you go out, you explore, you experience something new, and you're like, this is me. This is what I want to do. It's because it's ingrained in us. We are meant to explore. So save up for your next trip. Also, incorporating things into your day-to-day life back home that you were doing when you're traveling. So if you're in Thailand, incorporate some Thai food into your weekly meals. Go out for Thai food. Learn how to make a dish. If you were in India doing yoga and meditation every day, do that back home. Keep going with it. Whatever activities you were doing during your travels that were really was fun and was making you happy, you're passionate about, keep keep doing that back home and bring the culture of the places that you are visiting into your day-to-day life through food, through music, through movies, through books. Another idea is you can work at a hostel in your hometown. That's a great way to meet other travelers, to feel that travel vibe environment, right? By working in a hostel, people from all over the world come in and out. You just get that atmosphere that you get when you're traveling, but you can do it in your own hometown. You can also become a couch surfing host, where you can have people who are traveling, passing through your city, stay with you, sleep on your couch or spare room you have. My hope for you, if you are dealing with post-travel depression right now, is to understand that you are not alone. There are many, 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 many others that are going through the exact experience you are having, the same feelings, the same doubts, the same questions. And I think just knowing that should make you feel a little bit more like, okay, how I'm feeling is there's a reason for it. And other people are going through it with me. And know that you have just opened up your world when you took that trip. You just opened up another part of your you. And know that you are a different version of yourself. It's a beautiful version. A version that just experienced something really deep. And something that is going to be part of you forever. So that's beautiful, and it's okay. And it's okay to like mourn the person you were before and take time to accept the newer version of yourself. Well, traveler, I hope you're feeling a little bit better. And if you want to share more, you want to reach out to others, leave a comment below, comment on someone else's comment as well, and just feel free to ask more questions, share the experience you just had, whatever it is that you want to communicate with me and the others here that will make you feel better, and anything you want to share, because we're travelers. We want to hear your stories. We understand how you're feeling, and you are not alone.